think one of the greatest anxieties Okuma stage Sase Calvin is that I don't know, you guys are recording somewhere. Yeah, and you know when you grow up in a critical parenting, being recorded is like onalamzalo jongil. Or should you unga, you know? But regardless, we are grateful that we are here today. Amen. I'm just here for okay. Calvin, you guys are very strict. Amen. I see Sis Nomsa in the audience. I see people I know. Ndinabantuana apha Calvin. I do have Ostelo Nondalo. Those are my kids. We co-parent nabazali bakhe but ngabam kahle kahle. Amen. It's good to be here. I would ngifuna uthetha but abantu ba serious guys. Is it because I did not pay for parking? I didn't know about it. If I knew, I would have easily secured the parking just next to the door, but I did not know. Amen. Okay, I would like us to go to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 22. Proverbs 11:22. It is a ring of gold in swine's snout. So is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. Amen. Singayiphinda. As a ring of gold in a swine's snout. In a swine's snout. So is a lovely woman who lacks discretion. These are words Zika Solomon. Amen. Oh, amen. These are words of Solomon. This is from the wisdom literature. Amen. Solomon says, a woman who lacks beauty, a woman of beauty. Okay. All right. Solomon says, a woman who's beautiful but lacks discretion. Ofana nokuthi kuthathwe a valuable, precious thing, and then they took it to adorn an unclean animal. Amen. Woman of beauty but lacking taste. What does the lack of discretion mean? It's a lack of judgment or a lack of caution. Amen. A woman who lacks judgment or caution, ongazi, who ongabonu kuba ndisengozini. Amen. Solomon uthetha ngaye. Now I would like us to go to the Bible and quickly look at a person, a beautiful woman, but who lack judgment and discretion. Amen. Are we following? So, when you look at the Bible, Genesis chapter 3. Genesis chapter 3, uveza a beautiful woman, but who lacked judgment. And that was Eve. The Bible records that Eve was the last piece of the puzzle. If you read Genesis chapter 1, God kept on saying, it is good. Remember, then there was the first day, then the second day, it is good. Then he kept on going on, then was the second day, then it was morning, then the evening, then it was the second day, then it is good, right? But before a woman was made, we find the first it is not good in the creation story. When God looks at everything, and then ayijonge athi, it is not good. And then uThixo starts creating who? A woman. Now, Eve becomes the last piece of the puzzle. Looks at the work and say, Ngoku, everything is good. But without her, there was a missing element in God, right? And then at Gqibeleni, kwenza umuntu. But xa yenza umuntu, Eve, when she wakes up, she finds everyone looking at her, but except Adam. Right. Why? Adam wabekwa walaliswa so that Adam does not know whoever went wenjani. Amen. So Unto becomes the last piece of the puzzle, Eve, and she's made perfect. Everything yake right, iqoqekile, she's okay. But then in Genesis chapter 3, I would like us to look at the three things ezenza ukuthi ezibonisa ukuthi how does this lack of discretion plays out. There are three things in the book of Genesis I want us to focus on. Number one, Eve's failing to recognize the warning signs. Ne? Eve failed to recognize the warning signs. And what are those warning signs? It's the proximity of the serpent to the forbidden fruit. Remember, uThixo uthe, this is the forbidden fruit. Amen. But you guys are so serious. Okay. No, it's okay. So the Eve's proximity, the serpent's proximity to the serpent was a red flag. Man kunento erongo apa. Amen. And now, a talking snake. The world was perfect before. Everything was beautiful between us. But even then, snakes were not talking. Ayikaze yathetha inyoka. Even in perfection, a snake never talks. But whoever did not see that. Why? Because ethengiselwe ukuthi you will be more beautiful. You would have more. Inyoka ingathetha and say what you want to hear, but a snake remains a snake. There must be an alignment between the person talking and the words. There must be that alignment. If there's no alignment, lonto ayikho right. Amen. So Eve failed to recognize ukuthi noma ungathetha njani, inyoka inyoka. Amen. And then the other one, it's her negotiating her worth. Whenever you start negotiating your principles, that is a red flag. Udlala ngamagama, did God really say, but did he really not? When you start entering into a negotiation of who you are, that is a red flag. In any situation, when you start now have to lower who you are to make people around you comfortable, it is a red flag. The communication is now not from God, it is from a serpent. Now, at the third thing, it's her allowing the serpent to undermine her contentment. Eve was perfect, but Satan comes and says, you will be more. Who said I'm not more? Kubalulekile umamela umuntu othetha ngawe kuwe and promise you things. If you had a more figure, it would be better. If you had this, it would be better. Eve was better the way she was. She needed nothing else. But now that's a danger of trading, of having conversation with the serpent. At the end, Eve was more broken than how she was. She lost everything, but she was perfect. Amen. And this is her failing. There's a danger in us women when we try to play dress up with red flags. Or to dress the red flags in white. Yeah. It looks red, but if I can dress it up Ikhona into kumuntu omama that wants to be a fixer. And sometimes fixing things that are already okay. Eve tried to fix herself, but she was fine. There's that thing of trying to, no, mending ambamba 1, 2, 2 uzaphume right. Remember, the fixing job is God's job. It will leave us tired and broken. Why? Because even if you take, you can dress it all you want, it's still a pig. It's an unclean animal. You can take even precious things and dress it and adorn it, it's still an unclean animal. Eve trying to dress an unclean animal, into essence, ukuthi sibe apha today. Amen. Bad decision is eating the fruit and disobeying God. But there's another thing for it. 1, Eve was the first, ne? She was the first woman, but also the first person to bring evil. Our biggest strengths sometimes are our downfall. Because she wanted to be the first in everything. She even wanted to be the first to attain more. Amen. But sometimes in us attaining more, we end up with less, like I said. So, Eve eats the fruit. This is Genesis chapter 3. Something happened inside her. This was now still internal. But goes to Adam, gives the fruit to Adam, and even advocates for it. And say, eat, it is good for food. But phakathi, she was already broken. There's something in us, or Eva, where we give advices that shattered us before. And give us with smile as if everything is okay. Eve knew the fruit was not good, but she distributed to the husband. A woman that does not have God is a danger to herself and those around her. Uzaziqhekeza yena, aqhekeze nabanye. Why? A woman's destruction is always in plural. Why? Because we are sinenzalo. You give woman one brokenness, in that one piece, she can bring 1,000 pieces in that piece. We inhabit whatever we incubate. If ubuhlungu uzasihlephulela sonke sihleli up, but just from one ubuhlungu, if she has not healed. Eve knew that the fruit is not okay. But I'm still looking for Eve to say, ungayapho sihlobo kuyatshisa. To say, I've tried it, it did not work. But Eve's destruction is in plural. Not only plural, it attracts attention. Eve akaze wawa waedwa. We are still broken even today. Why? Because of our mother Eve. Now, if we as Khaikeza takes the brokenness, serve it to Adam, and then Adam serve it to the world. One thing that Eve was used by the serpent. Ne? Even today, women are still used. Women are still used even today. And the first person who was used is Eve. And because Eve is our mom, we inherited her inability to sometimes make good decisions. A woman's problem, we talk about the effects of sin outside, but we haven't even spoken about what sin does to a woman inside. The emotions we go through. They are not even, amanye amagama, there are still, every time you'll hear a new word, right? We are still constructing words ukuchaza the pain that woman has. We are still developing it. Psychologists bagcwele, because there's just a lot in a woman that was broken and we have not spoken about it. But in our brokenness, we give it on to our next generation and the next generation and the next generation until one woman decides, I'm going to stop this for my generation. However, all is not lost. Christ did not leave us broken like that. He rectified it in the New Testament in a woman, a virgin called Mary. Remember, Eve, eBhayibhelini bazalwane, she's the only woman or the only person recorded who knows the voice of the devil. Who spoke, had a conversation with the devil. Adam did not, from what is recorded. So whoever uyayazi voice kaSathane, whoever ke wathetha no serpent siqu sakhe wamjonga and was able to contain it. Ndiyazithusa nami ngoba ndingu-Eva. Ndiyakwazi uhlala nobubuhlungu and ndijonge ke ndi-nice and even have picture perfect photos. But ndibe ndirongo phakathi. And the people who stay with me, babe bethwele nzima. A woman used by Satan is dangerous. Why? Because she's beautiful. But her gold ring is with the unclean animals. A broken woman akabonakali. She's perfect. The eyebrows are on fleek. She knows how to contour perfectly. She's dressed well. You'll never see her. Why? The only time. Why? Nayakaziboni. But you know, Banangandon, she tries to fix the outside the most. Whenever sebenza nzima trying to fix the outside, ingancedeki, know that the problem is in the inside. Eve is always, from the first time, when God came and she ran away, she took leaves. Even today, she's still trying to find leaves to close her vulnerability. Eve, onganatiko, runs away, hides from truth, hides from God. Why? Whenever you speak of something like, uketi information, there's information that she doesn't want to hear. She wants to hear what she wants to hear. She is still trying to clothe herself even today with leaves. Amen. Okay, Mindy Gopi. Okay, just 2 minutes. I'm done. Okay, then she tries to close herself, but God comes and with the blanket of righteousness. Osika what? A sheep. Is it a sheep, a lamb? A lamb. A lamb. And then after, uyamvala, uti hold on to this. Ne? Eve, it's not. In the New Testament, uyeza in a virgin, uti, you will have Christ. Now why? God could have brought Christ in another way. No. But what decide kutuzazalwa phakathi komfazi. Why? Because the problem was inside a woman. Ingxaki, healing must happen from inside, not outside. Because when you know the voices of the devil, but mna ndizazalwa phakathi. That's why the Bible says, greater is he that is in me. Right? So that when I am born inside of you, when you will find then conversion from the inside. A woman that is healed inside. It is shown outside. You don't have to work on your outside because Christ was born inside of you. So uThixo uyeza uzalwa phakathi koMary and spends 9 months no Mary to say, you would know me more. Uzandazi from phakathi. I do pottery. I'm an artist. Sometimes I paint, right? So there's a technique that sometimes I use. It's called a kintsugi, right? Kintsugi. This is in closing. Kintsugi is a Japanese traditional way of fixing things. It's from 2 words, kin, tsugi. Kin is translated as gold, and tsugi means joinery or to mend. So kintsugi meaning joined with gold, right? It's a golden joinery. So what I do, I go and hunt for broken, I purchase broken vases, right? And I get them very less. I buy broken vases and then I come home and then I apply a technique, kintsugi technique, right? But now I use the modern kintsugi. There's a traditional one where they use a real gold. That's why if you check gold kintsugi cups, they are very expensive because the gold they use to join the broken cups is real gold. But we use something that looks like gold. But it does you know. So we take it, we fill in the gaps. Now what kintsugi does not do, we do not close the brokenness. We accentuate it. So where there were cracks, I put gold and make it as if it was part of the real vase itself. So we do not hide it, we accentuate it to make it beautiful. So when a woman was broken, God came as a kintsugi inside us, and he became that gold, not to close, not to hide our weaknesses, but he came to accentuate them. So that when people look at where we come from, they can really testify that God was there. When they have seen our past, even if our distraction was in public, even if our embarrassment was in public, but people, we look as if we are about to fall, but we do not fall. Why? Because there's this golden joinery inside that weaves us together. Though we look like we are about to be shattered, but we are not shattered. Christ becomes the kintsugi in a woman. What God did in the New Testament, he also used a woman. Claimed us back from the devil and now used us for good. This is my prayer this moment. Whoever you are, wherever you are, wherever you are, right? Can God use you? He's the better one, ongakusebenzisa, and trust me, you'll never call him trash. Never. Even his trashness is good. So lose yourself, kuThixo. He's capable. He can join us, and you'll look beautiful. You can drink from a kintsugi cup. It is very safe. A woman used by God can benefit a whole nation. Amen.